Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Footster King. As always, thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. A lot to talk about in this video. I got my top five linebackers in the 2024 NFL draft. Man, we already talking draft, but it's crazy because those of you who have been with me, you know this is my time of year. Me, Vach, a few of the other guys get together. I know Joe is heavy drafting. Like content creators have kind of shifted over to the draft side, but like this is when I thrive. And it's crazy because I already had a graphic with guys like Trevin Wallace on it. Trevin, with Wallace from Kentucky, with guys like Edgerrin Cooper on it, and so I've already been kind of hip to us possibly needing a linebacker. Like, and I've already done the work on that position group. So linebacker and receiver, I've already kind of had a high grasp on kind of what the Cowboys may need there. And so those are the two groups that I've already watched, and I'll be ranking those. I'll do top five, I'll do two honorable mentions, and then I'll do the player that I think fits best with the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I'm going to spend 1 minute. Let me start my timer. I'm going to spend 1 minute on the Mike McCarthy news. So I'm starting my timer because I'm not going to go over. I'm not going to rant too much. Guys, I've defended Mike McCarthy. Yes, he's running it back, and yes, the Cowboys are bringing him back. I just don't know how you can sell to this fan base bringing Mike McCarthy back with no real structural changes. Maybe somebody next to him to remind him about certain plays to call. I don't know. It was a complete disaster. You were down 48-16 at one point. You were down, whatever the number was, you were down 27-7 at one point. You cannot tell me that this team was prepared, and there's a true disconnect. I also see, I'm at 35 seconds. I also see players coming out, oh, running back with the coach, blah, 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 blah. And this is part of the issue. It's like these guys have no pride. Do you think Kobe Bryant, I know this is one of the best to ever do it, but do you think Kobe Bryant would tweet after he just got his brains blown out, oh, running back with the meme? You just got embarrassed at home. Your guys' game, you were a two seed. You were the only game that wasn't competitive. That's alarming. And that's on the coach. I mean, I don't know what else to say. This was an utter embarrassment. They're running it back is what it is. Let's get into linebacker talk. I went a minute and 15, so I'm sorry. Let's get to linebacker talk. Guys, this team got caught with their pants down when it comes to how they've built the defense. I think it worked, but then the shelf life is expired. I think it's expired. And it's expired for a few reasons. Offenses are now running the ball. Offenses are being more physical, and you're not going to be able to get away with having a 214-pound linebacker and a linebacker who had a vicious surgery in college and is not playing downhill. It's just not going to work. The attitude of your team is not going to work. And so linebacker, believe it or not, is a huge need for this team. And so I want to get into a few names that I've written down, and I'm going to work 5 to 1 who I really like and could possibly be guys who the Cowboys look at now. This is not okay. We're not talking about we're not talking about this is just preliminary getting you guys familiar with the names. I'm not going to go heavy on the film. And honestly, after the process, we know what the process is, Senior Bowl, Combine, then we'll really dig in even more. But again, these are just guys who I'm like, you know what? The Cowboys have to have some type of a plan at this position group, because if they don't, I'm just I don't know how you just say, you know what, we'll just be okay with DeMarvin Overshown, because guess what, as good as DeMarvin Overshown is, and like he showed he showed flashes, right? Overshown isn't stopping me from drafting one of these guys, man. He's not. Now I'm just telling you, Overshown is not he. DeMarvin Overshown is not stopping me from drafting one of these guys. So, one of my honorable mentions. I'm actually cutting through my notes here. Give me 1 second. So, two of my honorable mentions. This is so far. My rankings are allowed to change, but two of my honorable mentions are Cedric Gray and Jalen Ford. Cedric Gray, 6'2", 230, out of North Carolina. I like the way he plays, physical, flies around. A little on the smaller side, right? That 230 mold is a little on the small side. And you know, there's a linebacker name that's floating around that I'm not as high on. that others are. The linebacker ranking system and like how they'll look for different evaluators is going to be different. I have a different grade on some of these guys than they might, but I like Gray and I like Jalen Ford. So those are my two honorable mentions. Okay, so I just want to make that clear. All right, number 5. Let's talk about Tommy Eichenberg. If you're talking about just a smart linebacker, 6'2", 240, diagnoses everything well, he could probably be a safety in the league because he's a little stop. He could probably be a safety in the league. He's a little on the smaller side. Like let me not say small, but he's slim. Like he has a slim build, but he does have that 240 build. But he's physical. He plays downhill. Having to play Michigan, you can watch the Michigan game. I like this Indiana tape from last year. Um, Ohio State linebacker. I think he reminds me most of like a Sean Lee. That would be his comp for me. That's not because he's a white linebacker. He actually really does play downhill. And those Ohio State linebackers, they're really well coached. And I think that he's a guy that he does fit in the Cowboys for the Cowboys, but I got more of a third round grade on him. So let's say you don't go linebacker early, you could go Eichenberg, and you would be okay. I think that he would come in and he could compete for a middle linebacker situation. Junior Colson would be my number 4 ranked linebacker, but we're gonna talk about Colson. Now, Colson is a guy, big body, man. I mean, he looks like a linebacker. When he comes through the door, you see that 6'4" frame, you see that 245 build, long arms, runs and hits. When he gets on you, the ball stops. There were a few like his Alabama film, there were times where it was good. Then there were times I was like, oh, okay, I see where he can improve. But I'm gonna tell you something. When he closes a gap, he closes a gap and the runner stops. Physical runs, and I trust guys and players from that Michigan defensive side of the ball. Just the way they play, the way they're coached up. I like Junior Colson a lot. My number 3, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. A lot of people have early on in the process have Jeremiah Trotter Jr. Obviously, his dad was in the league. They have him as their top rated linebacker. I do not. I like Jeremiah Trotter Jr., but I do believe that he's a little bit on the smaller side for my liking. And the problem with that is 6 feet 230. We saw it all this year. Being that small, not being able to take on guards head on, not being able to play with hands, play with force, it hurts you. Arizona game, it hurt us. Green Bay, it hurt us. And it's not fair to Trotter because he is the fastest backer out of the group. He's also one of the smallest backers out of the group. But he does finish, he does run, he does hit. But for my liking and for what this team may need, he might not be the best player for this team. But and he also there are times when he plays a little too out of control. So that's one thing that I haven't heard that people say that this on my eyes. I'm like, well, he does run well, but he also there's times where he's missing keys. But I do like Jeremiah Trotter. I just have him as my third rated linebacker in this class. Now, this guy right here, Peyton Wilson, and this is my number. This is my number 2. 6'4", 240. Peyton Wilson can flat out do it, y'all. Big body, plays downhill. Really reminds me of Jack Campbell. Jack Campbell, who now is with the Lions playing good football because of what the Lions are asking him to do. They're not asking him to run and cover. And actually, he did run and cover well against the Cowboys, but they're asking him on rundowns, go plug gaps, go run, go blitz, go be disruptive. And that's what he's doing. And Peyton Wilson could come in and for this team, and he would do a great job of just that. Whatever team he's on, if you use him correctly, now he's not a guy who's going to be in wild you sideline to sideline. He's probably not going to be a high 40 guy. But the instincts, the intangibles, he doesn't miss tackles, 136 tackles last year. He doesn't miss tackles. The guy is a phenomenal player. He's my number 2 linebacker. And number 1, and I've been on him since November, Edgerrin Cooper. To me, Cooper is the most polished linebacker in this class. Fast, physical. That's Texas A&M linebacker. Excuse me, that's Texas A&M linebacker Edgerrin Cooper, 6'3", 235. The guy is a flat-out stud. He can hit. I saw him a lot at outside backer. Not a true, more like a weak, but he's not dead in the middle. I don't know exactly. Most colleges run that 4-2-5 scheme. Their linebackers are interchangeable, but he's not smack in the middle. He was more to a team's strength or maybe weak so he could slash or run. But he could play all linebacker positions. He could be a Mike. Okay, really reminds me of Devin White, prime Devin White coming out of LSU. Like that's how Devin White played football. Okay, and so this is who Edgerrin Cooper is, a typical, atypical SEC backer. Run, hit, physical, great communicator, great off the field. He's going to be that linebacker at 24. If you're out of all your first round grades, you look at Cooper and you say, this is the pick. So this is my top 5, guys. You guys let me know what you think. We got a lot of draft content coming. This is just one of many. Actually, I'm going to get through all position groups because really and truthfully, this Cowboys team. Oh, you know what? Before I even do my conclusion, the player who I like for this team the most will be Junior Colson, and we'll get to that. I'll go deep. I'm gonna do a deep dive on a few of these linebackers, but Colson is the one who I really like because his upside to me with the arm length, the body, the frame, he can grow into his frame. He's the one who I think, let's say you got him in the second or third round, he's the one who could develop and turn into a real stud. Guys, we are going to do a lot of work because, to be honest with you, the Cowboys could go so many different ways in the first round. They can go O-line. They could go receiver. They could go linebacker. I would go running back, just like I wanted to draft Jahmyr Gibbs last year, and I let draft community tell me, oh, you never take a running back that high. Well, how's it working out for the Lions? So it's your boy Foots. I can't wait to get some more of this content out, but that is my top 5. You guys let me know what you think. Edgerrin Cooper, Peyton Wilson, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., Junior Colson, and Tommy Eckenberg. It's your boy Foots.